Well, let me say something that might surprise you. Most people didn't fail because they make bad decisions. They fail because they make good decisions at the wrong time. Yes, and that's set in. Well, this is one of the hardest truths that most capable people couldn't accept. Because if effort didn't work, if intelligence didn't save you, and if the decision wasn't or was actually sound, then the problem isn't competence, it's actually timing. And timing feels unfair until you understand it. So have you ever done the right thing and still pay for it? And have you ever thought, if I did this earlier, it would have worked? And have you quietly wondered why momentum feels harder to sustain now? Well, stay with me because by the end of this video, you stop interpreting resistance as personal failure. And you will understand why effort sometimes creates friction instead of flow. And you will see why this cycle punishes mistimed action faster than ever. So the question is, why timing feels invisible? Well, you know what? Timing doesn't announce itself. There's no notification. There was no warning sign. There was no clear signal saying, hey, wait, or move. So people assume timing doesn't matter, and they rely on logic, experience, and motivation. And when things don't work, they turn inward. More effort, more self-criticism, more pushing, and that's where damage begins. Well, we have seen this actually. Someone launches at the right moment, minimum effort, strong traction. And other launches something better, smarter, more refined, but it struggles. Same action, different timing, opposite outcome. So why effort can backfire? And this is the part where you will find it counterintuitive. You see, when timing is off, effort amplifies resistance, not results. You push, the environment pushes you back, and you push harder. And that doesn't mean you're wrong. It means you're early, late, or misaligned. Effort is neutral, timing determines its effects. And this is why hustle eventually feels heavy, not because you are tired, but because you're pushing against conditions that no longer support the brute force. In early cycles, mistimed decisions took years to reveal themselves. Now, months, sometimes weeks. Visibility is higher, consequences are louder, correction windows are shorter, and that's why people say things like, hey, I don't get why this suddenly stopped working, and I used to do this and it was fine. Well, it didn't suddenly change. The environment did. So timing doesn't mean waiting forever, It means recognizing leverage, knowing when to press, when to pause, when to redirect without panic. Poor timing creates exhaustion. Good timing creates momentum with less force. And that's not luck. To me, that's just alignment. And this is where anxiety creeps in. Because pausing feels like weakness. Waiting feels like falling behind. Not acting feels irresponsible. So people act prematurely. And then blame themselves when it doesn't land. So what's the cost of ignoring timing? Well, this matters more than most people realize. Mistimed action doesn't just fail, it erodes confidence. You start doubting yourself, your instincts, your capacity, not because you are incapable, but because you keep burning energy without return. And over time, that creates hesitation, second guessing, emotional fatigue. So here's a question worth sitting with. Where are you pushing simply because stopping feels uncomfortable? Not because it's right, not because it's effective, but because pausing threatens your identity. And that's the timing issue. So sometimes the most strategic move isn't more action, it's restraint. Not retreat, restraint. And that's the difference. So for now, don't force momentum. Before your next major move, pause briefly and ask yourself whether the resistance feels emotional or environmental. You see, one is fear, the other is timing. And they feel very different in the body. And this is what we explore deeply inside the Destiny Architects Telegram chat. Not predicting the future, but learning how to move with leverage instead of exhaustion. And if this video gave you relief rather than hype, that's intentional. You see, effort moves things, and timing decides whether they move smoothly or painfully.